Hey folks, welcome back. My name is James. Today is, what is today? December 8th, 3:03 p.m. It's been a while since I made a video, so uh, I'm going to kind of go over some of what the market was doing, and then what I see it's doing now, and then I have a couple stocks to show you as well. So we're finally getting a better market. I think the last video I made was somewhere in there because it was just such indecision, such choppiness that I didn't feel like there was really anything to talk about. I certainly didn't want to put any stock picks out there for anybody to try to trade when they were failing for me too. So I didn't want to offer anything that was just going to fail. I pretty much realized that after, I think it was after August, that nothing was going to work. And so in October, I made very few trades because I got so chopped up in August. And I think it was July. It's kind of started in July. August was horrible. September was brutal. And then we finally started to get into October, get the earnings reports, and things started to change a little bit. So I found this symmetrical triangle. And this is when I finally realized there was a symmetrical triangle here. That's when I kind of started getting more confident. I'm like, we finally have a base forming that this market could potentially move off of, and we're moving into October. And that's what happened. So that's what this whole section of the chart is, finally getting some upside. And over the last few days, when we got that big red drop, here you can see here what happened there. That was news driven. It drove it down. Then there was a big gap down the next day, but we hit the 50-day moving average. That's the yellow line, and the market was driven back up. That's very bullish. It shows that the market could take a hit and still find momentum to pull itself back up. And so this bottom trend line was breached here, but then we closed back over it again on Friday with a really strong day. Friday was really, really strong. So that's really, really great to see. And the Dow and the Nasdaq look exactly the same. You know, they were trending out of a base, got hit a few days ago, rebounded off the 50-day, and we've got a big green bar from Friday. The Nasdaq, same thing. You see the big red rebound back up. And the Russell is interesting too. It actually looks a little stronger. There's this big long base that was forming all through all that choppiness. July, August, September. It's actually before that, April, just all the way back here. Even the start of 2019 basically is when it jumped in there. And then we're finally getting this, where we're closed above the upper line. It dipped back down and then got pushed right back out. So things look really, really good now compared to where they were. So I actually expect the market to continue trending, even if we're still susceptible to negative comments about China trade, as you saw the big red bar that came up the other day. But I still think that the market might be able to take that and still find its way to pull back up. So right now I'm very confident in the market. I think it's going to keep going. I think we're still going to keep pushing higher. I'm hoping there's some kind of trade deal that comes. The other factor we have to be aware of is on December the 15th, which is just like a week away, there is more tariffs that are supposed to go on. So that's a big deal. So we could either get a big hit in the market where we have to wait and see if it's going to actually be able to rebound. I think it should still be able to, but we got to wait and see. But if all of a sudden they go, well, negotiations are going pretty good, and what we're going to do is we're going to delay those more. I think they were already delayed once, maybe not. Maybe these ones were always on the 15th. But if they get delayed again due to positive negotiations and positive talks, I think that's going to be just more positivity in the market, which should hold it up, which should continue to make it rally. So that's a big deal. Be aware of December the 15th because that's coming. Okay, so the list is very short that I have. Shopify, I'm in Shopify. I got in it originally back here. I had a trend line that went down here and it broke right there, and I was originally in there, but I got stopped out this day because I was kind of edging the stop up because it broke out, consolidated, and then broke again. And so I like to move my stop up when I get a consolidation and then a breakout of that consolidation. I'll use that second consolidation as my stop area. I'll go like $1 or $2 below that breakout of the second consolidation let it move up a bit, and then move it to break even on that breakout, and just slowly move the stop up like that. So I had it moved up, and then we had that big red day in the market, and it hit my stop, so it knocked me out. I had a small gain there, and then I noticed that because it bounced, it was actually still forming this bigger triangle. So we had this high here, and then the low there, and that coincided with this, which made a higher low. And then over here, this all lined up with the high where it got knocked back down. So I formed that triangle. It was like the very next day, I got stopped out one day. It super rallied the next day, and I bought back into it. So far, Shopify looks really, really good, actually. Broke out of this triangle, lots of momentum here, and now 2 days of rest. So that's a bull flag. It looks like it's going to start to go again. So we just, again, hope for more positivity in the market, and I think Shopify is going to go again. Roku has a big triangle forming on it. There were a couple entries. I had traded it here, and then this was a chance too where it dropped on its earnings, I believe it was. It could basically have been bought at the close of that day, and it just rebounded. But there were a couple opportunities in there. But overall, I see this big triangle on it, which is really, really positive for Roku. Even though its earnings dropped it down like that, it still rebounded afterwards, and it's just kind of consolidating. So keep an eye on Roku. I think that's a really big pattern. Reliance Steel, just seeing a big symmetrical or ascending triangle here. It's a $120 stock. So it tried on Friday, didn't really get anywhere. It really needs volume to go. So, but right around that area, the high is really this bar, I think. 120.85. Yeah, this bar, 120.85 area. A breakout of that with volume, momentum, that would be a buy point. INMD has a symmetrical triangle. This is an IPO, it's pretty new, but that's a big symmetrical triangle forming. Right now, I have the buy point up around here. Just that 51.23, I think it is. What is it? 51.20. That's about where I have it, and that'll change because that line is diagonal. So, and then Micron, I have another big triangle on this. So that's another one to keep an eye on. I think its earnings are coming up though, so be aware of that. Just check for Micron's earnings. I think they're coming up, but yeah, somewhere in 48.82 area, wherever that upper line is. Again, that's a diagonal line, so it's going to change as it goes along. So that's it. My videos are probably still going to be sporadic. Probably not every day. I'll try to get on here and just give my opinion of what I'm seeing along the way. But yeah, the market's starting to look better. So that's really positive. So yeah, just hope for something to happen December 15th. No more tariffs or something, some kind of delay. I'll see you next time.